This fly is called a mossback. It is my adaptation to the traditional gold-ribbed hare's ear, where I detract or tone down some of the aspects and emphasize some others. The hook is a Partridge, Barbless ideal nymph hook in a size 12. The thread is Benecchi 12-0 in a tan. And the thread is simply attached behind the eye and run to about halfway to the middle of the shank. This is a slightly weighted nymph. There is fine lead wire for the thorax portion only. Simply wrap it on, and I leave enough space to not interfere with the head, which finishes off the fly. And cover the lead area with some thread to secure it. There is a ribbing, which on a traditional gold-ribbed hare's ear tends to be flat gold tinsel. It also has a tendency to slide. Gold wire works better, but for me it's a little bit too flashy, so I use a copper wire, which simply gets tied down. The tail material are some guard hairs from the face of a hare's mask, or the face of a hare, the hare's mask. I've already clipped off a number of guard hairs. The tail will be about half the shank length, so, well, trim and tie it down. Then run the thread to the end of the shank, making sure that the tail stays on top. The abdomen will be hair again from the mask, hare's mask. I have some here. I like to insert it into the thread, split thread, so split it with the dubbing needle. And insert. Slide it into place. Next, I'll spin the bobbin holder while holding the thread just below where the dubbing is inserted. Then tighten and allow the spins, the twist, to run up the thread. It's a fairly scruffy looking nymph, and it starts to show like that immediately. Next comes the ribbing in a few even turns. Tie down and trim the waist. For the wing case or the wing cover, I will use Peacock herl. This is not exactly a traditional material for nymph wing cases, but I use it for a purpose. The most vulnerable stage for any nymph tends to be just prior to hatching. The wing case tends to darken and fluff up a little, bulge up, and Peacock herl will give me a good imitation of that. For the thorax, I will use hare's ear, which is coarser still. Again, we'll flatten the thread some. And split. Doesn't quite want to play ball, but we'll get there. The dubbing is inserted as we did for the abdomen, and the same approach. Twist. Then allow the twist to run up the thread. Wrap it back towards where we tied in, and forward again. To form the thorax, it can be beefed up just a fraction. Next, fold over the peacock herl. Tie it down with a couple turns, then I'll lift it up. Make a few turns underneath. And then trim. We can now tidy up the head as needed, just a few turns, before finishing off with a three-turn whip finish. In essence, that completes the fly. If need be, we can roughen it up with a bit of Velcro, but as a rule it tends to be just the right kind of scruffiness already. The mossback, the side look, and then here you can see the darkened wing case of a nymph that is about to hatch.